Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming at you with Married at First Sight Denver, season 17, episode 21. And I don't even know how this is going on. Past decision day one, I was hoping this was just decision day two and they would expedite Michael and Chloe's journey, but no. I think next week is their decision day. Hopefully, I don't know, but let's get into this episode. So, if you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe. If you are returning, thank you so much. You are my heart. Let us continue. So, Michael and Chloe go to an animal sanctuary, and she says she wants an animal sanctuary where she can also invite foster kids, as she wants it to be like half the size of that big space, which freaks Michael out, but he don't say it yet. Becca and Claire meet, and Claire is trying to listen while Becca, talks about her feelings and gets to moving out. Then Claire asks what they will do about the fish since one of them is named after their producer. That might have been the producer seducer. Um, so she says that she low-key only wants to take one of the fish, which makes me extra think that one of the fish is named after the producer seducer, allegedly. But then she says she doesn't want to separate the fish. So she just gives a little speech to the fish saying that they mom gonna be Christian and they knew mama gonna pray over them. And I think she was being shady to Austin, but they ended up, doing the right thing by separating because between her, hang-ups about religion and the no sex and the making excuses for the sex. Now this producer, it's too much. They can't be together. So then you see Emily moving out and taking a phone call. She says it's time to go back to Emily, party of one, even though she gets emotional since this was her first serious relationship. We all gotta give her grace because it's her first serious breakup. Becca and Emily then, move out together and chill. And Emily says she will be friends with Becca for life and they commiserate about their marriages falling apart. Becca says Austin asked her, get this, why he can't have his producer seducer as a friend and her as a wife. And I was like, nah, in our culture, you say you can't have cake and bake. He want his cake and eat it too, and he know Becca don't like it. This is not some best friend he's had for years. This is some new person that's taking up the time and energy that he should have had for his wife. So no. So then Becca says she's gonna reject all this gaslighting that Austin is trying to do because she used to be a gaslighter herself, and she, healed and did a lot to move away from them kind of toxic relationship things. And she says, Austin need to apologize. She says she had wished she was gonna apologize, but he came with the bull about wanting to have both women's in his life. Emily then says that she has come a long way from never having been in a relationship to marriage. And then you see Austin going home to his other lady friend. And he just seems so fake to me since he don't seem sad at all. He looked relieved to be done with faking on camera. And now that he has his producer boo that he could go out with, he definitely does not look sad. So that Becca, has been in tears for several episodes, and he just got on his hat backwards and he got his lies on his lips. But he did admit to lying to Becca, to his friend, about, the producer seducer. He then says talking to Becca again was a mistake since he said Becca expected an apology immediately from him, but he was already disconnected. So Becca asked to not have any communication. But again, for someone who was broken up with, who didn't want to break up, he is showing less emotion than the lady friend who's making all these sad faces and comes over to hug him and comfort him. But he don't need comfort. He's relieved. He can be with his real girlfriend now. So then Brennan meets with his friend and tries to tell his side of the story of his marriage. And even the friend said it sounds like Brennan's story is off and he may need closure. But the friend says if Brennan just wants to move on straight like that without the closure, then he can't say anything to him. Brennan did admit to asking Emily to edit or delete a video where he says she was trashing him at the end. But I don't know. He's just acting like a victim who needs to heal. And yes, breakups are hard, but he got an anger about everything that's hard to process. Since he caused a lot of dismiss, but he got a lot of resentment towards Emily. But then again, Emily probably wasn't that easy to deal with based on her after party passive aggressiveness and relationship inexperience. So I just think they're also right for ending their relationship. Then you see Becca on the phone with a friend and Austin out with his friends. And Becca's friend says she feels sorry for Becca that she spent so much time and work on something that didn't work out. And Austin friends rightfully ask him what he did to mess up his marriage, and he admits that he did mess up. And then you see Lauren and Orion. Lauren and Orion meet up after Orion invited her to bow and arrow dodgeball, kind of, and she enjoys just shooting him up. Apparently, he only got one shot off on her, and she got like 3 shots off. And Orion then tells her when they're like talking after the fact that he's not dating again since he doesn't feel like his relationship with Lauren is all wrapped up. And she says she don't want to feel like she's holding on to something, but she would consider thinking about having that conversation about if their relationship is wrapped up or not. And I was like, girl, he's pulling you back in. She put on makeup, and she seemed like she was excited because she kind of did put words in his mouth a little bit about you know, the relationship not being over for him. Again, Orion always gives these vague answers to sound good. And you see Lauren falling back into her old patterns of like reading into it the best, most flattering thing for her, but she gotta stop trusting Orion. She needs to feed him with a long spoon, but apparently she's gonna entertain him. So next you see Cameron calling Michael. This was the funniest scene to me because he's sitting on the couch. He looked like he can't move, but you could tell he's trying to pace himself because he's not supposed to get his heart rate up. But he's getting heated and heated. It's like this juxtaposition of I'm almost gonna pass out, but I need to unload the clip on this girl real quick on the phone. So he does unload about Claire to Michael on the phone. Since he said he got very triggered by Claire saying that the men were manipulating the women. Since he says Claire was the one who was pulling the strings all along in their own marriage, and that she was also playing puppet master to Emily with the whole double date gossip that he says was his idea, not Brennan's idea. Well, he's real mad at Claire. He then says that he's glad he's divorced from Claire and that he don't ever want to talk to her ever again. And I was like, wow, that's very different than how you was acting in front of the expert. You was like calling this girl your sister, and now you're glad to be done with her. You don't even want to hear her voice. So again, I feel like Cameron also has some kind of passive aggressive resentment about how he was treated by Claire, and it comes out every now and again, and it came out here. But I do think that Claire is behind a lot of the mess in the show and in her relationship. Then he asked Michael about what it's like with him and Chloe, since he heard through the grapevine that things are good. And then Michael says the grapevine is correct, and they talk, about Michael and Chloe's relationship. And Michael says that, he appreciates Cameron's thought, but Michael is collecting all the data he can on his own to make a good decision, which translates to I'm not listening to y'all people who have failed marriages. I'm gonna follow my own judgment and advice. So then Michael and Chloe talk in like a hot tub. It's their 1 month anniversary, and they ask if there's anything they wanted that they didn't get. And Michael said he probably wouldn't ask for a person who wanted an animal sanctuary. And then Chloe says she wanted someone 6 foot plus with yoga muscles. And then she says she could work with Michael because he's 5'11" and he got boxing muscles. So it seems like they're kind of flirting. But then they talk about if they're on the right path to say yes, on decision day, and if they're on the path to falling in love. And then Michael says, they need time to get there before, the love talk. But then when it gets to decision day, Michael makes some long speech about how he's trending towards yes, but Chloe summarized it as him saying he would say no. And then Michael clarifies that no, he just has insufficient data, and it seems like, they're trying to say positive things, but Chloe is seeing the negative because she feels negative. Next, Emily and Becca get aura readings, and I'm like, this season needs to end because this is stupid. Watching these two, I'm sorry, go to see, these like alternative people. It's supposed to be about marriage. It's not supposed to be about friends taking bad Polaroids. But anyway, Emily and Becca both have red aura, but different kinds. So Becca's aura is a nurturing kind of red because she's always giving and people feel comfortable around her. But the lady said that, she needs to also learn how to receive love and let people take care of her. And then she said Emily's red, it's like centered around areas of protection. So she's trying to like guard herself, and she's knows who she is. She's very firm in who she is. But then the lady said it also seems like she was recently in puppy love, but got snapped out of it fast by an energy shift. And I was like, okay, lady, you reading this right. And I guess the lady says it's her spirit guides are communicating with them girls as spirit guides, and she's analyzing the aura and the messages from the spirit. Whatever she was doing, it worked because she was spot on for both of them. And then I also start to think that they just need to, again, cut to Michael and Chloe's decision day because this is too much. Like, why are we looking at these girls looking like they're covered in crayon on a photo, but whatever. Next, you see Chloe and Michael meet with Dr. Pierre for their 1 month milestone. And in her confessional, Chloe said that she thought they were doing well, but after Michael told her he needs more data, she don't know where they stand. And then Dr. Pia asked Michael, what's up with his mom not knowing about their wedding. But then Chloe has Michael's back about not pushing the issue, so Dr. Pia backs off of that. But she does, however, push back about their plan to possibly live apart for some days, because they was talking about if they move in, they're going to have like 4 to 5 days together, maybe 2 to 3 days apart. And remind me of that SZA songs like, you take Wednesday, Thursday, then you got it covered for the weekend. It's like, what are they doing splitting up the days? I was like, what kind of deal is this? Talking about you need more days. I need me at least 4 with them, more with them. All right, let me stop. But Control was a good album. So then, I don't know. Dr. Pia calls out basically a wall she's perceiving between them, and she's asking, are they just performing for the cameras or what? Because they need to keep it real. And then Chloe said that she is not faking and she's 100% real. But I think Dr. P is right. Chloe seemed fake. Michael's more real to me. Next week looks like they will both say no. But then in terms of after party tea, Chloe and Austin was on after party, right? Now Austin claims he did not watch himself back on the show, so he has no comment on what he looked like or learned concerning himself. He then says that his friend Mark was the one who reached out to the lady friend producer seducer to go out. Since it was that lady producer's last night, I was like, how did Mark know that it's your lady producer last night? He's not on the show. But then he says Mark set it up, so then he went to go meet Mark and the lady producer wherever they were. And then later on, other people came to join them. So the initial lie was that he was out with Brennan, but apparently Brennan wasn't even involved. It was, again, an event that was specifically geared for the producer, so they were meeting up because of her to celebrate her last date, wherever she was going to be at. And then he said they ran into the ladies who snitched on him when he was already with the producer person. And then Keisha asked him if he had invited Becca, and he said he didn't invite her to that thing for the producer, but he had invited her to something after that, and she said no. So they asked him, would he change anything? And then he said he would change going out with the producer and lying to his wife. And then Keisha's husband, who was also on the show, tried to throw Austin a little Hail Mary about, on Austin's side, it probably did not feel good to be confronted in public. And I think that is a debate that I'm seeing a lot about, was Becca wrong for pressing him in public? But my feeling is that Becca did that to Austin because, one, she was wondering if he was going to lie, and she wanted the friends there so that she wouldn't feel like she's gaslighting. Because, again, she stopped trusting herself. She got to the point where Austin was lying so much and treating her so bad and switching it up in front of the cameras that she wanted her friends around to help her reality test, So I don't blame her for doing it in front of people because, again, she said multiple times that she had stopped trusting her own judgment and intuition, and she don't know what was up and down because of how Austin was treating her. So for her, it was important to have her friends there because, one, they told her the truth of what they saw, and she wanted them to support her in figuring out if Austin was going to lie and go against the reality and the truth, that they're perceiving. And he did, so she was right to have her friends there. If it was a different circumstance in a healthy relationship, I definitely think they should have, been a one-on-one conversation between the two of them. But the core issue is not, conducive to Becca talking to Austin alone. She wants backup. She wants, a sense of an indication that, she can figure out the truth. And for her friends was that, But again, I just feel like this season needs to end. And you're hearing all these stories, about Austin ignoring her and like walking right by her when she's naked and trying to maybe, get something popping. And he did not want her, so she was wanting to be around her friends and people that made her feel validated and seen and heard, and also in front of people who could also either agree with her that what she was perceiving was correct or help her figure out reality because she had not been able to do so herself. So you put your thoughts in the comments. Remember, you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. And let us get to the reunion together because it's dragging, but we're going to finish and finish strong. Bye.